This 5-ingredient, no-bake cookie pudding cake is an Argentine-American fusion recipe, or at least an American recipe influenced by an Argentine recipe. My inspiration for this is a classic no-bake Argentine dessert known as flan con vainillas. Flan, for those of you who don't know, is a milk, sugar, and egg custard, very common in Latin American countries. But with the no-bake dessert, what people do is that instead of making the flan from scratch, they use a boxed mix, kind of like how people in the United States use boxed pudding mix instead of making it from scratch. So something like this. I use this to make my version of flan con vainillas. Vainillas are ladyfingers. So what you do is you make the flan mix, and then in your dish you put ladyfinger cookies, the long and thin cookies used in tiramisu. So the cookies kind of melt into the flan and it's really good. And I said, I wonder if I could make an Americanized version of this with ingredients that are more common in the United States. I've never made this before, so we're kind of learning as we go along, but I think that if I could develop a recipe for this that's easy, only 5 ingredients, flourless, eggless, it's not only easy and delicious, but also good at a time like this when not everything is in the store. So like I said, it's just a few ingredients. I'm starting out with 2 cups of cold milk. I'm probably going to need 4 total. I'm using whole milk because I want the pudding to be nice and rich. 1 3-ounce box of cook and serve vanilla pudding, not the instant. I honestly think you could use the instant, but even though that is less quilombo, I think that by having warm pudding, it will melt in with the cookies and it's just going to be better in terms of texture. But like I said, I think instant would be okay. I have some vanilla cream sandwich cookies. This is a big package, but I think a normal package is of something like Oreos is maybe 12 ounces. I'm not sure. I would get that at least 8 ounces. I have some vanilla extract I'm going to add in. And I also have 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese. Honestly, I think the cream cheese is probably optional. I'm adding it to make the pudding thicker and also add a bit of tang because I think that it will help to balance out the sweetness. So, let's get started. The directions for the pudding mix say to pour the cook and serve pudding mix into the cold milk. That's what I'm doing. Pouring it into the cold milk. I'm going to stir, and then I'm going to bring it up to a boil while stirring constantly. After 8 minutes on medium heat, gas mark 3 out of 6, while stirring constantly, my pudding is done. I'm going to turn it down to low. I'm going to add half of my block of cream cheese. This should be room temperature, but it is not. It's a little bit warmer than right out of the refrigerator, but honestly, I probably should have gotten it out a little bit sooner, but I did not. I'm gonna come over here, and while the heat is on low, 1 out of 6, I'm just going to stir in the cream cheese, move what's left over there, bring the cookies over here. As you can see, all I did is I just put a layer of cookies in the 8x8 dish. There are gaps between the cookies since the cookies are round and the casserole dish is square. You could break some cookies into fourths and put them in the gaps, I do that sometimes when I make my choco torta de Oreo, my Oreo cake. But honestly, I think it's a lot of quilombo, as the Argentine would say, a lot of mess. So I'm not going to do that this time, but if you want to, feel free to do so. I'm going to keep stirring on low, and when everything is combined, I'll bring you back. So I kept stirring the pudding and cream cheese on low for maybe a total of 3 minutes. Came together nicely. It is a bit lumpy, but that's okay. I'm going to turn off the heat, and now I'm going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And you want to wait until after the heat is off, because vanilla has alcohol in it, so it can burn if you add it in the beginning. It will just burn off. I'm going to give it one more try. Let's try this. Very nice. I can taste the tanginess from the cream cheese, extra bit of vanilla from the vanilla. Very, very nice. So now I'm just gonna stir this one more time. I'm gonna pour it over the cookies. Do I need another thing of pudding? I think I do. I don't have enough to make 2 layers. Once this is all scraped out, I will put in another layer while the pudding is still warm. I smooth out the cream cheese pudding mixture. The saucepan is in the sink. I think I'm gonna rinse it out just to make sure I don't get any overly done pudding the second batch. And now, like I said, while the pudding is still warm, I am going to put in the second layer of cookies. And I'm sure you can see some broken cookies there. I had to try this pudding mix with the cookies, and it was quite good. So this recipe that I'm inventing, I think, is going to work out. I think it would have been okay without the cream cheese, but honestly, I think the cream cheese definitely does help to balance out the sweetness. So I don't want to push the cookies down too much because I want there to be some pudding in between the bottom layer and the top layer of cookies. But now, like I said, I'm going to rinse out the saucepan, make another batch of pudding, and put that on the top. And now the second batch of pudding is ready for the cream cheese. You can see it's nice and thick. I'm going to leave the heat on medium right now. Notice the cream cheese, I tried to break it apart a little bit. I think it will incorporate better if it's not in one big mass. I'm going to turn it down to low and stir for a few minutes until it is completely incorporated. I wanted to show you this. It's only been maybe 25 minutes total, and it's already starting to, I guess the word would be, congeal. It smells incredible. I think it's going to be good. It's been a few minutes, and now the cream cheese is completely mixed into the vanilla pudding. It is a bit lumpy, but honestly, it's going to taste good. Now, just like before, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla once the heat is turned off, because like I said before, heat can burn off the alcohol. Mix that in. Now I'm just going to pour this over the top. There might be a little left over. We'll see. If there is, then I'm going to have a snack. Put it over here so you can see it. Just literally pour it over like so. Nice and easy. The first layer, it looks like it smoothed out as it cooled, so that's good. The only thing I might do differently next time is that I might put a very thin layer on the bottom, because I think that might help to soften the cookies on the bottom. As of right now, the first layer, only the top is in contact with the pudding, but I think a little bit on the bottom of the casserole dish would help to make all of the bottom layer of cookies soft. I think this is going to work really well because what I liked about the flan con vainillas is that the outside of the cookies kind of combined with the flan and became one with it, but not the inside of the vainillas, not the inside of the lady fingers. So I think with these cookies, one thing I wanted to point out is that unlike the choco torta, I did not dunk these cookies. I took them straight from the package and put them into this cookie pudding cake. And I did that because that's what you do with the ladyfinger and flan dessert. And I think that by doing this way, by not dunking the cookies and using this warm pudding, what's going to happen is that part of the cookie is going to get softened by this creamy pudding, but the inside is still going to be firm. That cream filling and part of the cookie itself is still going to be firm and crunchy and crispy. And I think it's going to be a really good combination of textures. So this is done now, I think. I am going to let it cool off a little bit more. Then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for at least 3 hours. My cookie pudding cake has been chilling for about 3.5 hours now, I guess. Now I'm going to give it a try. For a little bit of extra texture, I'm going to crumble some cookies on top. I'm sure you could do chocolate shavings or even slightly ground up chocolate chips if you want, but I'm gonna make this all vanilla. Now it's time to actually dig in. First slice is always the least pretty. Here is my vanilla pudding cookie cake. I'm gonna take some pictures and then give it a try. Now it's time to try this vanilla pudding cookie cake. You can see layers of pudding and cookie. Very nice. Try another piece. More of the pudding and cookie. Definitely delicious. What happened is exactly what I thought would happen. The pudding, not sure what word to use, congealed. It thickened to a nice layer. The cookies are softened on the outside, the part that is in contact with the pudding, but the inside of the pudding is still crispy. There's still that cream filling layer. The cream cheese helps to soften the sweetness and balance it out with that tartness. And the cookies are sweet, but not too sweet on their own. And everything just comes together. It's sweet, but not too sweet because of that tartness. It has a good combination of textures. Part of the cookies have kind of melted into the pudding, but part are still crispy. Definitely good. This is definitely a keeper. I could have put some more cookies on the top for more crunch, but oh well. This is good. I will be making this again. So if you're looking for an easy, no-bake cake with cookies and pudding and cream cheese, this Argentine-influenced cookie pudding cake only has 5 ingredients. It's easy, delicious. I think you could do a lot of different things. You could do lemon cream cookies with lemon pudding, and you could grate some lemon zest into the pudding. You could do maybe a banana pudding type thing with some banana slices in there if you wanted. You could do chocolate pudding with Oreos or some chocolate cream cookies of some kind. Honestly, I think the possibilities are endless. So yeah, if you want an easy dessert that is unlike anything that I'm aware of in the United States, definitely give this one a try. I hope you try it, because if you do, I know you'll love it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.